Good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Morgan Phoenix coming to you from Stanley, Virginia. It's a beautiful, windy and sunny and rainy as well. It's going to do both. It looks like today. It's a Sunday afternoon here, leading up to 4th of July week. It's also the overlap week for Summer B and Summer D terms, and I hope it's not too much stress for you all. Try to give you a couple of pointers and tips and reminders for this week to maximize your success and minimize any confusion or doubt as to what you're supposed to do this week. First of all, there's an introductory post in discussion board. Please personalize it as much as you would like, and make it as brief or as lengthy as you'd like. And if you can, please include a photo. It personalizes things quite a bit. All right, I typically have a dog to show here in these videos or something like that. There'll be more of that later. All righty, but that's the first thing you can do is post your introduction. I noticed that several of you have already done that, and thank you for that. There also is a Forum 1 and discussion board, and I'm going to give you a couple of thoughts right now about discussion board. The discussion board is it is not simply an academic exercise. It is a relationship building and a personalization of this discussion surrounding curriculum, and it's about goals and values, general goals and values. And look to the text in your chapter 1. It'll be your chapter 1 reading here, and it will lead you forward and then give you some general ideas about goals within the field of curriculum, and then you were to pick out 3 that are of particular interest to you, and you could also add one from the outside if you prefer to do that. Alrighty. With regard to discussion board, it is one of our opportunities to have a personalized relationship with each other. It's very, very hard in online education to maintain any kind of contact or sense of who the other people are. Alrighty, so I would like to encourage you for starters here. I'm going to give you a high-tech reminder to share your personality. You may use the word I or a collective we as we talk about curriculum. Okay, in the discussion board, you may use second person you. Okay, because you are responding exactly to what someone else has said, and you must do that in discussion board to gain full points. Your replies must include a sense of who it is you're talking to. Name them and use the word you. Okay, this third person business and academic writing about this author believes that, and once you say that, especially if you're talking about some piece of literature that you've read in, then we lose track as to which author you're talking about. For example, in the week 1 assessment assignment on the Schubert article, if you say this author, so well, is that Schubert or is that you? Alrighty, so I would steer clear of that. And for this course, if you use first person, I will never mark you down for it, regardless, even though some people think it's not. Always check with your professors on what they think is most important. For this course, you're at a point in your study here where let's talk about what you are all about. Okay, never use you in academic exposition. Okay, it doesn't fit there at all. Okay, you can use it for discussion board here because you're responding to the other person. If you send me an email, you can say, what was it you meant by such and such? All right. For your first week here, you're going to be looking at social forces, at learning and learning styles and human development. This textbook is pretty good, particularly in the summary portions of each chapter. And I would like to ask you to focus on those summary portions. Alrighty, and it'll give you questions. It'll give you things to think about, and then you will receive a series of 5 or 6 or 7 articles, very, very specific and very, very defined articles that deal with the kinds of things that they're talking about for that chapter. For your discussion board, for your assessment rather, your article / chapter assessment for week 1 is on one of the articles. I would begin your assessment with a summarized sort of statement about what it is we're talking about here, and then you go into what Schubert is talking about. That begins on page 15. Okay, that's really, really important. Your article chapter assessments, and there are several of them in this course, are based on things you read in this book. I would prefer that you not go to outside sources or to former classes. Please never submit a paper that comes from another class, and more on that later, because you're working toward your doctorate for the most part here, I believe. And in that case, there may be some pieces of your prior research that you can import to this course, and it certainly is allowable as long as I know what you're doing and as long as you're open about that. Never bring a paper that you've submitted to another class and plunk it in to make it work with this class. Alrighty, I think that's what we got now. We got everything done here. Oh yes, rubrics. Please do look at the rubrics for discussion board. It'll show you out. You should be earning 25, 24, 23 points. It shouldn't go below that, because you've been at this for a long time. You know what's required of you. All right. And likewise for your article chapter assessment, look at the rubric most specifically here, and notice that on the under the criteria, there are two of them indicate personal analysis and then personal and practical application. So it's going to be relating to really to how this is going to impact your work and your professional life. Alrighty, hope that helps. Look, these rubrics are really fine. This course is quite well designed. I'm not 100% fan of this text, partly because it has so much in the way of specific articles that we tend to not really even refer to much. But yeah, but you may for your major assignments in this course, you may stick to the summary portion, which begins each chapter. I would encourage you to do that. Okay, and for example, once again, as you go into this first chapter here, you're going to be looking into curriculum. Planned educational experiences is something very separate from instruction. Okay, it's the planning, and then instruction flows from the curriculum. And there are things that impact the social forces surrounding. Big deal these days. Learning styles and then human development. And a lot of times in these courses you don't want to go back more than 3 or 4 or 5 years, so you're dealing with current things. However, in curriculum you got to go back 20, 30, 40 years. My terminal degree in curriculum was in 1973. So I'm an old guy. I'm out of date. I'm over the hill. I'm retired. I'm enjoying this, and these classes and the students that I meet at Liberty are wonderful. Here's one further reminder to you. Okay, as you turn things in here, you're at a point in your academic career where it should be as flaw-free as possible. So proofread everything. Maybe read it out loud to a trusted family member or a colleague. All right, for thought flow, for glitches, for spelling. Okay, I'm a stickler on certain spelling errors that are made commonly, even in grad school. The word principal versus principal, because spell check's not gonna mark you wrong for not indicating principal, the PAL, P-A-L, who is that person that works as a head of a high school or an elementary school, versus principal, goals and ideals and ideas. The principle of something, P-L-E. All right. Likewise, let me give you another one. For example, and you'll see me. I'll comment on these to you. The word insure and ensure. To insure means to take out some kind of indemnification of future anticipated possible loss. Okay, that's to insure something. But we want to ensure. I want to ensure that you don't have any confusion about this course. That's E-N-S-U-R-E. Okay, and that is to maximize the likelihood of the intended outcome. To ensure something. Practice using the word ensure. Okay, in your assessments and in your papers concerning quotes, make them brief. Okay, brief. And if you're going to make a long quote there because it really has to be there, make sure you put it into single space. And if you want to demonstrate mastery, I would paraphrase. Okay, always cite it now. You must cite. You still have to provide the citation. Okay, so quotes, make them very, very brief, individual words or brief phrases there, and you want to be the expert in the room. So demonstrate your mastery by using cited paraphrase. Alrighty, that's it for me today. I hope that you enjoy the course. Any questions, place them in the Ask Dr. Phenix forum in discussion board, or shoot me an email, and especially if it has anything to do with grades or with my response to your work, please do it by email. If you have a particular time-sensitive issue, you can call me on my cell phone. Please don't use the home phone number because there's teenagers in our household, and you'll be interrupting them. So, and I don't know what else to add here. I think that's it. There probably will be more, and we'll catch up on that next week then. I wish you well. Enjoy the course. Make it yours. Make it yours. Okay. And once again, as you're working on the evaluation of a literature review and your literature review, which is the week 8 assignment, make sure it's leading toward your dissertation or your potential dissertation. Alrighty. And if you have been working on those things in other courses, let me know, and you can use some of that as a backdrop or as the backbone of some things you'll do for this course. Alrighty, make it worthwhile. Make it yours. Okay, I have I finished my graduate work with regard to degrees in 1973. I've since then received all of my certifications for high school principalship and for division superintendent, those kinds of things since then in graduate school. But you know, this is your business now. Make it yours. Make it count, and enjoy it along the way. I hope so. Any questions? Please be in touch, and we'll see you next time, Lord willing. Bye bye.